Hello friends, you're with a Lonesome Gamer, and I'm still playing Empires of the Middle Ages. And the year is 961, and we had a scoring round right now. And I mean, it's pretty obvious Byzantium is far ahead, and that was probably pretty clear from the beginning that this game is at least during the campaign, highly unbalanced, and that Byzantium will probably score, or will probably be most of the time during the game, far in the lead. So if you use these kind of scoring rounds like I do in my house rules, it is massively in favor of Byzantium, and they would easily win the game. So I kind of see them a little bit out of the normal scoring. You know, I see, okay, they've won that, fine. On the other hand, it's going to be interesting what happens if the Arabs show up. Maybe then things could change a little bit if there will be pressure from the east. But right now they are so far ahead. They scored 76 points and they are at 224, so that is completely ridiculous. This is nearly double of what the next player has, which is the French player with 140 points overall. But they scored, and that is interesting, the French player is in a way the big loser here. They scored only 36 points compared to the turn before, where they scored 54 points. They've lost a ton. They've lost the provinces down here. They didn't give them a lot of points, but they had claims. So these were 6 points. They lost Flanders, which was pretty valuable. A lot of their empire just was simply reduced because of the war in the social status. And of course that did cost points like hell. Yeah, then it's Red, and that is kind of interesting. Red is now the most successful player apart from the Byzantine player. Red scored 47 points, which is a ton. They slowly improved. It's interesting to see that. We had at the beginning 40, 43, now it's 47. And although they were not too successful in the war, but they have a solid economy, and that simply grants them a lot of points every time. So they are at 130 now. They are at third. Then it's White with 114, and they basically remained the same compared to earlier. And interesting is also Green. Green might be mainly the big winner here. They score now 36 points, and that makes them basically the same size point-wise as Blue and as White. So this is now a full power player, we could say. And they have also, compared to, I mean, okay, there is potential everywhere, you know. They could all improve their areas, and it's not like they have made the best out of any of these players had made the best out of the country that is possible. All of them can improve their areas a lot, the social state a lot. There is also room for expansion for everyone, except for Spain. And that is kind of interesting, because Spain is possibly, on the long run, the power that might have the most problems when it comes to improving the situation. They made nearly the best out of what's possible in the empire. I mean, they can improve a little bit. They can definitely improve Valencia. They can improve Aragon, but then only a little bit in Castile and in Granada, and that's it. And then they are more or less at the maximum. And it's hard for them to expand. We've seen that before. So they have to go to war. They could try to capture these two areas. They are not worth a lot, but they would give them maybe 10 points or so if they have a claim here. And so maybe that's an idea to go in here. But then, I don't know, it's hard to tell. While the others have definitely a lot of options to expand here. Okay, yeah, and of course Orange is gone. I mean, there is no doubt about that. Orange scored 5 points. These two are worth nothing. This is worth a single point. So, yeah, it's a disaster, basically. Orange is more or less out of the game. I think there is no doubt. They have 24 points overall. There were also some Viking raids, and this is now pretty much the end of the Viking activity. I think we can see maybe 10 or 20 more years, and then the Vikings will go away. I think they stopped basically raiding by the year of 1000 or so. No, it's actually 976. That is so that will be in, yeah, they got 3 more chances to show up, and that's it then. But there was a little bit of Viking activity during the last turns, and they basically did some damage to the British player. That was always a little painful, especially because he simply doesn't keep enough money to defend himself against the Vikings. So again, there was a leader dies heirless for the King of Verona, and this time we've seen a revolution here in Lombardy. So this is now neutral, which means also that Provence is isolated, so it's not possible for him to rule there or something. He cannot even well, he could in theory defend. He could also rule, actually. It is possible because he can do it by sea. So it's actually not completely isolated, but it is 2 areas away now by sea. So if he wanted to do it, his values would be halved, and also, I mean, this is pretty much a disaster. So more or less he is now reduced to these 2 areas. And yeah, it's looking worse and worse for him. So it might be actually interesting now for the blue player, for the German player, to say, you know, maybe I really want to take this guy out. He didn't do it this time. Instead, he tried to improve his areas, improve his empire. Switzerland is now not that bad anymore. They are at -1. They were over a lot of time at -3. So maybe launching an attack from here against Verona is a real option now. And the leader died again, and now we have a combat value of 1, an administrating ration of 2, and he's a great diplomat, but I'm pretty sure that won't save him, and I think we see now eventually the end of the orange player. I mean, he really needs a miracle. With a combat rating of 1 and administration of 2, it's ridiculous. You know, it is so poor, and theoretically, maybe the Byzantine player gives him money, but yeah, why should he? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of unlikely. It's possible, but yeah. Okay. And we see a new leader entering here, Brian Boru. Take a look at this guy. Well, there's not a lot to see here. Maybe we can get a little closer to his face or something. But, come on. Well, not the best picture, I guess. Okay, so he is from the Celtic language group, and the green player has drawn his card. Sadly, it doesn't really help him a lot. He already is at the maximum in combat. And, okay, it gives him a few extra points in administration and diplomacy, which is kind of neat. My house will say he has to play him right away. He cannot hold him in his hand. So in this case, it's not too valuable for him. But anyway, I mean, maybe the administration can help him. Although I kind of wanted to try to do a conversion attempt against Scandinavia. And I've got this card here. I gotta check exactly how that works. It's the Missionary Fervor. Each time the player who possesses this card attempts to convert an area, the initial conversion differential is halved. This card is never automatically lost for any reason, but can be returned to the event deck only if the owner discards it. Now, does that mean he simply keeps the card forever? Or does it mean if he plays the card? But it seems not like you have to... No, I think he actually can keep the card forever. If you would have to play the card when you want to use it, it wouldn't say each time the player who possesses this card attempts to convert an area. So I think he actually can keep the card, which is pretty insane. Gives him obviously a big advantage here. So, but hey, why not? I mean, okay, he has that card, and that means I think he has to do 3 successful conquest attempts against Norway to convert whole Scandinavia to Christianity. And to do that, of course, he needs money, and that is a little bit of his problem because he doesn't have a high income here. Maybe I should try to do some, I don't know, man. But as long as I don't want to risk the life of my leader, and I would do that if I try now administration with a value of 2. These guys die much easier than the higher value leaders. So I think I'm not gonna improve my, oops, shit, where was that? I think it was here. I think I'm not gonna improve my social status at the moment, but I'm gonna go straight away for combat here. Problem is I only have an income of $4. That is really not much. So it seems I have to try to improve my social status. I'm gonna pay $3, which is the minimum, to try my first combat action here, and we'll see what happens. And that is a success. Sadly, the target takes a damage here, so Norway drops down, which sucks, and I gotta roll. I also have to roll for a revolution there, and there will be unrest, and that's fine. Oh boy, so let's see. And that was then my first attempt there, and I'm gonna need a partial marker to mark this somehow. Can we use that one here? There we go. So we're gonna place a partial marker here, and then I try to rule some of these areas and try to get a little more money. Otherwise, this will take me too long. And right, my first card killed the glorious Brian Borley, and all he will be remembered for is the beginning of the Scandinavian conversion. Okay, so not too great. Here, so this goes up anyway. And once again, the white player sees a chance to attack yellow, and yeah, I wonder if I really should do it, but I think I should. I mean, this guy is so weak now. I mean, if I can't do it now, I probably can never do it. The problem is I don't have a lot of income, but I think I want to try it now. So I'm going to pay $2 for the attack, and let's see where we are. We have a -1, so we're at 2. We can add 2 for the bad social state, but that adds out with the castles, so we are still at 2, and then we got to remove 2, so we are exactly at 0. Now here's my idea. I'm gonna spend $8. That's a ton of money. But if I can take this shitty area, it would be pretty awesome. So I'm gonna spend $8, and well, there's not a lot you can do. I mean, you could spend $1 and subtract 1, but does that really help that much? I mean, why? He really has to go for it, right? There are not many other options. So he might even hope that his leader dies. So let's see. And that is exactly not enough. This is crazy. Look at that. If he didn't spend it, it would have been enough. So it wasn't. So, hey, let me see. It's interesting. I don't have that much money left. So I think I'm going to go this time with... I'm going to spend $2 for the attack. And let's say... Shit. 6 more. That's painful, but I'm going to do it. So I got to spend 8. And this time, yeah, he's going to try it again. And his leader died, which is very good for him. And that could have saved him now. Let's see what we got. Well, I have a success. So that's enough to do a partial success here. And okay, so we're going to place that marker in here. And the target, actually wait a minute. That is, the base dropped in the first one too. Okay, so the base dropped here to -2. And now the target here drops to -3. Actually, I think, okay, there we go. And now we got to roll for the new leader's combat value from a 1. Holy shit, look at that, from a 1 to a 9. Oh boy, this is crazy. This guy simply survives every fucking time. However, he doesn't have an income. Still, there might be this guy who says, hey, you know what? I simply allow you to take a card, to play a card, to stay alive, to piss the others off. Why not? Okay, so I think the white player will first collect taxes and then he might just throw in a ton of money, try to get at least Verona. So we'll see what we get in the end. Okay, so this guy actually says, okay, hey, you know what? I give you $1 to defend yourself against this guy. So I can now calculate that. I have... He's got a 9. So... I got a 3. That's a 1. That evens out with that. So I'm at 1 then. -2 for the language makes it -1. Okay, so if I spend 2, I'm at -1 now. So, that's a big risk. I mean, I could throw in everything I have. It's not a biggie. I mean, I could do it. Maybe I'm lucky. It's a pretty big risk. But nobody says that he doesn't give him 2 or 3 more bucks. So it kind of sucks to do that, actually. Shit. I don't think it makes a lot of sense, honestly. I think I don't want to continue this war. With his help, doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. It was reasonable as long as he wasn't that strong, because then he was not willing to support him like that. But with a combat value of 9, it's pretty much impossible. I mean, so what am I going to do instead? I think I'm going to rule instead. Try to get more money. That's probably the best I can do. Hard to tell. I'm going to go for Friesland, I guess. And that was is it a success? No, it's not. Fuck. And I'm going to try it again. And this time it also wasn't a success. So yeah, that's pretty much it here. So this makes it so hard to take this kingdom out, because this player is simply interested in keeping this kingdom alive. This player is super weak, but he kind of protects. It protects the south of Italy from these richer players here. And therefore, it's definitely in his interest that this guy remains there, sitting without any power, but simply blocking the strong players from expansion. And therefore, he will give him just enough money to stay alive. And that would have been pretty unlikely if he had only a combat rating of 1, because then it becomes really expensive. But with a combat rating of 9, he just gives him $1 and he can use his card, and then it's nearly impossible to take him out. The other guy could try it now. He's got better odds, he's got more money. He will be possibly able to take out Provence, especially because it's harder to protect. So, and then we'll see what happens if we come from 2 sides. Now, the French leader also died heirless, which removed a lot of claims here in Burgundy, Provence, Lombardy. That's painful. The tie in Rome too. And he now also has a 1 combat leader. So maybe Spain sees his chance now again to give it another shot and attack here. These guys have a lot of money. I mean, not a lot, but they have quite a bit. But the Spanish guys have definitely more. There's no doubt. That's definitely more. And they also have a higher income. So maybe France wasn't safe yet. They thought so, but there might be a problem here for France coming up with this weak fighter there. And also, it's not only a weak fighter, it's also a terribly weak leader in general. So that means he's got to go early, and that doesn't make it easier. And blue was indeed lucky. He's drawn this card. That means his leader dies again. So, oh boy, that's not a big improvement. And he remains a 1-point combat guy, which definitely sucks. However, he becomes a fairly good administrator, and that also gives him the advantage maybe not to go too early. And what about diplomacy? Oops. That's not that great either. So that remains a 3. So he's now at 9. The Spanish leader would be at 10. So the Spanish leader has still the edge here. The King of Verona has now, with a good combat rating, the chance to pillage Switzerland. And in this way get some money at least. So let's see. We have oh shit, where is it? I think we have a 9. We got to add the social state of the target area. What? No, that's not true. Here we go. Social state of the base area. So that's then a 6. It's only a 3. But then it's again a 5. And I think the religion modifier, yeah, so we are at 3 basically. Well, I don't know, let's go for it anyway. Well, that was successful. So the target drops. And that also means that we cannot pillage there again. If a target is completely wrecked, it's not allowed to pillage there again. Okay, and I managed even to get some gold, so let's roll a die and see how much we get. I think that might be probably 2. Yeah, that's a $2. Okay. Well, that is enough to do an attack, and that might be enough to fight back that partial marker, and I want to try that. So I'm going to spend these $2, and I'm simply going to reveal the card right away, and that is good enough. Pretty awesome. So, oops, shit. Yeah, there we go. So that means the partial marker goes away again, and the Germans might think again if they want to try. If they want to make another attempt here, probably not. And the last thing I'm going to try another ruling action, maybe, possibly in my home area. And I'm not sure if that was even successful. I think we have a cathedral, so that evens out. No, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm at 1 then, so it's not enough. Shit. Okay. Anyway, at least I defended my home country for now. So again, we've seen some Viking raids. Castile had to suffer twice, I think, and also Northumbria, Wessex, Mercia. So that was really painful here, and I'm glad if they are gone. Only one more turn and I think that's it then for the Vikings. But they did now quite a bit of damage, especially during the last turns. And now the Spanish player didn't defend himself against the Vikings. He is planning to do an attack against France, as long as there is this loser here, the combat value of 1. And I guess the German player will join him there. It's not going to be easy, but especially for the German guy. But he's going to try it anyway. His problem is he's got to go first, which sucks. So let's draw a card for him, an event card. Dynastic Inheritance. Well, he already has that. Basically, you end up with collecting a ton of these cards. They're not too interesting. And I mean, he's got Recognition of Claim, Dynastic Inheritance, Diplomatic Coup. Nearly everyone has a few of these cards, but they're hard to use. It's more interesting. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I could attack from Flanders. It's not easy though. I'm pretty weak here. Wow, that's tough. I mean, here's the thing. Maybe the Spanish player can give me some money. And then I'd be willing to do it. So I think we have to come to an agreement here. The Spanish player gives me, let's say, $10. And then I say, okay, I'm attacking here. So I pay $2 attacking Champagne. So that means I'm at 0 for now. It's a 3. -2 is a 1. -2 for the different language is then a -1. So to give that a good shot, I got to spend probably about $8 or so, which is really expensive, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Gonna throw in another $8 here. And now the question is, does he want to defend himself? Maybe I should even spend more than that. I'm gonna spend 2 more, so I'm at 10 now. So if he wants to defend himself, he had to pay $1. Yeah, he's gonna do that. And he's going to throw in, yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, if he throws in too much, maybe 5. So then it's basically, I think, a 4 that I still have left. And I made it. But that is only a partial success. So this drops now to a +1. And it's a partial success. Ah, gosh, where is it? Okay, I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna throw in $2 for the basic attack. So let me see again. I got to calculate this, of course, again. So that's 2. I think I'm at 0 now, if I'm not mistaken. Because now Champagne is not that strong anymore. So, I'm going to throw in, hard to say, I'm going to throw in $5. That leaves me options to yeah, I'm going to throw in $5. So he can try to defend himself by spending basically 5. Yeah, if he spends $6, I cannot do it anymore. So, okay. That wasn't successful. Now he's gonna flip that, and that wasn't either successful. And now Yeah, I wonder, should I try it again? I don't have that much money left. The question is the Spanish player willing to help me out? And he might say, yeah, why not? I mean, this guy is down to 3 cards. He has a lot of money left. So he says, yeah, okay, you know what? I'm going to give you another $5. And we'll see where that goes. So cool. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to throw in another $5. And now he's at the point where he's got to spend all his money basically now. He's going to try that again. Spend $6 and another card goes away. Okay. And now he's basically only allowed to play a single card. And it will cost him a ton of money to do that in the end. So, interesting question. Is the Spanish player willing to give me even more money? I mean, yeah, it's definitely in his interest to get rid of this threat here. So he says, okay, you know, I'm going to give you $7 more. Do it, take that stuff. On the other hand, I still have the option to do some taxing, and I think I want to do that first. So the Spanish player is willing to give me $5 more, which is really gracious. And but he has a solid economy. I mean, it's not super good after the Viking raid now, but he's still doing fine, and he's doing much better than the French player. So in the end, I'm pretty sure together we can do that. So I'm going to spend now another, well, let's say I'm going to spend a lot of money. I'm going to spend another $9 here. Now, the French player is going to throw in basically his last money. Champagne is terribly important for him. So yeah, why not? He spends everything he has. He spends $10, but that is not enough to completely. It might not be enough to completely. Look at that. That's cool for him. He can roll and regain a new leader, maybe a better combat leader this time. So let's see what I get. Okay, that's not enough. That's for sure. Actually, I will lose one here. So in the end, I didn't make it. But it was super expensive for the French guy. He doesn't have any money left. And now we're going to see what his new combat rating is. So let's roll a die here. And that isn't too great either. It's probably a 2 or something. From a 1. What the fuck? That is a 5. Holy shit. He was very lucky here. That's kind of a special result. So he ended up with a 5 here. Let's check for administration. That goes from a 5 to a 3, I guess. Yeah. And diplomacy. It's also not too great. That goes from a 3 to a 2. Okay, but there's definitely improvement. It makes it harder for the other guys. However, he doesn't have the option to defend himself anymore because he already did it 4 times. He only has a single card left. You are only allowed to defend yourself 4 times in a single turn. So, and he doesn't have a lot of money. He might be able to fight back here. Maybe he can even take Flanders back. That is possible. But we definitely will see the Spanish player making a lot of progress. I'm pretty sure about that. So there was again this monastic revival here, which allowed players to place churches and mosques. And then we see the action of the blue guy. He did a taxing, wasn't too lucky here in Normandy. We have unrest. And he's going to try now to do an attack and fight back here in Champagne. There's not a lot else we can do. However, I'm going to spend that buck and use this to defend myself. So in the end, maybe it is good enough. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. We have a +1. Might be enough. So it's a 6. Then we can add 1. It's a 7. We got to subtract 2 for a different language. So it's a 5. We got to subtract 3 more. So it's a 2. But that is good enough. It's a C result. So that means that the target drops even further. And again we see how terrible, terrible war is for the economy in this game. And that's it. There is nothing more that the blue player can do. He has no more cards. He's now completely defenseless. And now it's the red player. And yeah, that's a pretty bad situation, obviously. So we'll see what the... Oh, we got a comet. Well, that might shake things up a little bit. All players must discard all event cards they currently hold in their hands. Then they pick an equal number of event cards from the deck. And yeah, that will take a while to do. Everybody has about 3 cards, so I'm pretty sure I'll be kind of busy doing all that. Okay, we see here a new event card that came in 951, the population boom. And it says, all areas on the map with a social state of -1 or less have their social state increased by 1. What? And it is shuffled back into the deck every 100 years. Oh boy. Great. That is great, man. Okay, I gotta somehow... I don't know. Fuck it. I have to somehow... yeah, I have to somehow, whatever, mark that. Okay, but that is kind of interesting. So that means we got a lot to do here. Yeah, all areas on the map with a social state of -1 or less. So that means especially the East will profit from that. And, well, okay, why not? Cool thing. So that helped quite a bit, especially in Eastern Europe. What the magnet fucked up there is now greatly restored. And there are many interesting areas with a social state value of 0, for example. So, and it was also useful for the German player. He had a lot of -3 areas. They all went up quite a bit. So that is definitely a cool card. I just have to remember when I want to play that or when I want to reshuffle it into the deck for the next time. And what have we do here? What do we have here? A year of famine. Great. So that means we gotta go back and undo this here in the Western Mediterranean right away. That is definitely one of the frustrating aspects of the game. You know, you just fit it everywhere around, and then you got a year of famine and you got to all undo it, or at least in many areas. You were just kind of, great, it goes up a little bit here, and then you draw these crappy year of famines, and that is, you know, that's not great. So it's still the comet. We see the second player here now throwing away 3 cards, and I'm gonna draw. And the leader dies airless, which is not good news. This is the French player, and that doesn't help him with a combat value of 5. At least we don't have any unrest, because it's only for the leader's areas which are not of his language. But it's not good news anyway. We've got to roll again, and let's see what combat value we get. Well, that is definitely not as good as before. That's only a 3. And it will also throw him back in the order of play. Administration. Oh boy, that sucks. That's only a 2 then. Now, This is definitely not good. Yeah. And then we have the diplomacy. Yeah. So that will be a 3, I guess, from a 2. Yeah, it goes to a 3. So now he also has one of the worst leaders. It's the same quality as the German leader, but I think the German guy controls more territories. So that means now he has to go first in turn, and that is bad for him. Okay, we were done with the comet, and it was interesting. The comet definitely brought good omens. I think I drew, apart from the population boom, I think I drew 3 times a year of plenty, and I think once a year of famine or so. So overall, it was definitely good for Europe. We had a year of plenty in these areas here. We had years of, I think, also here in the east, here, and, well, actually, it must have been at least 4 times. Also here in England and here in Northern Europe. So that was really an impressive. These were some impressive cards which helped quite a bit to raise the social state in all Europe. Anyway, so that was the comet. So now it's still the Spanish player doing his thing, and we will certainly see now the attack here against France, and he will start attacking Aquitaine. It's not in such a bad shape anymore, friends. You can see that a few turns before we had here -3, here -3, here I think -2. It increased quite a bit. Now -1, -2, even a +1 here. But still, I mean, it's going to be very hard. He does not have any cards to defend himself. He's got very little income. If you can move through here, Toulouse will be isolated, so there will be unrest then. And we will see what happens. So I'm going to simply spend, first of all, I'm going to spend $2 for the attack itself. So I can start with I got a combat value of 3. So I got a 4 here. I'm allowed to add 1 for the bad social state. That brings me to a 5. I got to subtract 1 for the similar language. So I end up at a 4 again. And I'm going to throw in 3 more bucks. So that brings me then to 7. Let's see what we get. And that's a success. So that means the target drops by 1. And I am allowed to take out Aquitaine. Then I'm going to continue attacking Anjou. This is now going to be a little harder simply because I start here with a -2. So, I mean, I could try grabbing Toulouse. That would make the attack against Anjou easier. But overall, it would slow me down a bit. I don't know if I want to risk that. Maybe not. So let's see. We got a -2. So I'm at 1 with my rating. I can add 2 because of this. So I'm at 3 again. -1 for the language is a 2. So I'm going to spend $9, I think. So I'm at 7 then. And we'll see what happens. And it's a success again. The target will lose 1. So this is now at -3, which makes the attack again much harder now. So these were the worthless areas anyway. But of course I had to go there because if I want to have some success of some kind. And now the question is, where do I want to go? I think I want to go not against this. I think this is too hard. I'm going to try to go against Normandy. And by the way, we have here, of course, also unrest in these 2 areas. So, and we have also unrest into lose now, because it is isolated, and the blue player has no option to do anything here at all. So what am I going to do now? I think I will go for Normandy. It gives him a good income, and it's only a population of 0. So that will be my next target. But that is not so easy to take out. I don't have that much money left, but I'm still in a good shape. So I have some solid income here. So let's see. I'm at 0, -2, so -3. That's where I start. That's not great. Anyway, I'm gonna throw in $2. And then I'm going to throw, I think I'm going to do the taxation first. So, okay, I'm going to spend $10. That's a lot, but it brings me to a +7. That's a little bit all or nothing. If I can't do it, and actually I get another one for the mine. It's going to be hard to launch a second attack if I can't do it now. So let's see what we get. And we fucked up. This sucks, of course. The base is reduced by 1, so we might even lose the base due to a revolution. We have unrest there already. That's not a good thing. But that's safe. The base is safe. Now the question is, can I do another attack? I'm at -3, so I can exactly risk one more attack if I throw everything in that I have. And I think I want to try it. Maybe I'm lucky and I get a C. And yeah, I'm gonna go for it. So let's see what we get. And I don't get that. So that was bad luck. Nothing happens here, but I gotta roll again for a rebellion here. And again I'm safe. And I got now 1 card left, and I'm gonna use that to rule somewhere. I think I'm going to rule in Portugal. Maybe Granada. I think I preferred in Granada. And that was successful, so the unrest goes away. That goes up 1 space. Okay, there we go. Problem is now, of course, if the other player wants to go first, it's an interesting question. Do I want to go first in the next turn or not? Because if he wants, I might want to go first. He does only have $2, so if I work together with the German player, we might be able to give him a very bad time then. We'll see. And for the first time for decades, maybe even centuries, we see here in southern Italy a positive social state value, thanks to these years of plenty and all, and thanks to the good administrative rating of this guy. He has an extremely rich country here. I mean, it's just insane, you know. His core areas are all, or most of them are +2, +3 even sometimes. And then there is this Slavonic areas. They are also all at +1, which is the maximum. We see here Naples at a +1. Only Sicily falls behind, but we might want to do that in the next turn. And that is just, I mean, that is insane, you know. He's so rich. And the Irish player, he is a very good diplomat with a diplomatic rating of 9. So what he decided to do is establish some diplomatic ties with Wessex and with Norway here. And that helps him also when it comes to the conversion. So, and of course, it's also a bonus if you do some, if you do taxation there. So the king of Verona pillaged Croatia 2 times, and he managed to bring it down from a +1 to a -1. And here the Byzantine player said, hey, you know what, stop it please. I'm interested in that area, and I don't want you to fuck it up completely, I simply give you $5 and you leave Croatia alone. And of course the king of Verona was happy with that, so he simply tries to rule now. I mean, he could also plunder. He could even try to take back Lombardy, but that costs a lot of money again. So does he really want to do it? Hard to tell. Maybe it's more interesting for now to just try to rule a little bit and try to improve the areas. So I'm going to try to get rid of the unrest here in Tuscany, and that actually worked out. And we can even flip it. Very good. So that's a little bit of money here, and I'm going to try it again. And well, that wasn't successful, and I'm going to give it a last shot. And fuck, actually we managed to bring it down again. That's the bad part of it. Okay, anyway, don't know, should I load it up? Well, I definitely stopped for today, and maybe I'm going to go through a few more turns before I load this up. So the year is now, we have a new game turn, and well, I forgot actually to roll for the schism. I don't think, no, that's probably nothing going to happen here. Yeah. So the year is now 976, and this is now the last year that the Vikings could have appeared, and that actually happened. The Vikings did raids against Wessex. The guy defended himself most of the time, but then he was out of money after 3 cards, and he took then a loss in the social state. And then they tried to plunder or to pillage Normandy, but that was unsuccessful because of the result of the card. And then I did another roll, and you can see here, only during a few years of the game, the Magyars could have shown up. And this is now actually the last possible year, and now this time it happened. I rolled a 2. And as with the Vikings, I do my own rule here, and on a 1 or 2 these guys only show up. And yeah, so we see the Magyars now for the first and only time in the game. Their base area is Hungary, and they will try to pillage the most, like the other guys, like the other raiders too. So I guess they're going to go even for Serbia or for Bulgaria here. And I guess that the player will probably use 4 cards to defend himself, and then he might have to take 1 attack against one of these that he cannot defend. Okay, so we're going to roll now if they're going to attack Serbia or Bulgaria. And that is going to be Serbia. So therefore, we draw a card for them just to show them as part of the game. Will they be successful? And yes, they are. So that was actually their part in history. This is reduced by 1. And that's it. No more Magyars in the Middle Ages here. And we also see the Saracens. So basically all 3 possible raiders attacked this time. That's pretty rough. And the Saracens will, as usual, attack down here. Mainly against the Spanish, maybe against Naples. We'll see about that. And that's bad for the Spanish player because he needs his cards to do attacks here. and he doesn't want to defend himself. However, yeah, that's a big question now. Does he want to take these hits from the Saracens? And I don't know. I mean, if we want to kill this guy off, we better do it soon. So we probably have to take some hits here, but then it's hard to tell. I don't know. Okay, here's the bad news for the Spanish player. He doesn't have any money left. He spent all his money in that war, so that means there are no options for him to defend himself against the Saracens. So the Saracens will attack either Cordoba or Granada. Let's roll a die here. They go for Granada. So, well, we got 5 cards here. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Well, that wasn't successful. Lucky for him. Let's roll again. It's again Granada. Second one. And that time it probably was a success. Let me see what the value is. The Saracens have the same religion, which subtracts 2 from their attack. Okay, they have a 5, which is not super strong. Still, it's not bad. So we have to add 2, brings it to a 7. We can subtract 2. There's a 5 again, and then we can subtract 2, which brings them to a 3. And I think this is it. So therefore they are successful, and that is reduced by 1. So now they're gonna go for Cordoba. And that is also a success. So this also drops down by 1. Really bad news here for the Spanish guy. And now it is possible that they will attack Naples, because that has now also the same the same modifiers here, or the same values. Let's see what they go for. They go for Granada again, and yeah, that's another success. Fuck. That's really painful for the Spanish player. He's losing his great economy here, thanks to these suckers. So the last card now, it's either Cordoba or Naples, and it is Cordoba. Let's see what we get. And that is again a success. Very bad, very bad. Is it good enough to save the French player? Maybe in a way. We'll see about that, I guess. But that was definitely he lost 4 income that way. That was a hard blow against the Muslim player. Okay, so considering that I'm pretty much out of money, my strategy is now to do some pillage operations. But first, oh gosh, my leader dies airless. Holy shit. That's not good, so we get additional unrest markers here. Oh boy, and we got a roll, and we'll see. Maybe the French player is extremely lucky here, and he might survive that because of all these strange coincidences here. What is that? They should be... I don't know, I think they should... That's strange. What are these cards? I think they should be done. So... yeah. So we get some unrest. Oh, actually, yeah. So there we already have unrest everywhere. So we got to roll now for Valencia. Ah, gosh, let's see. Is that still fine? Has a different language, but it's okay. It is okay. Aragon is okay. Aquitaine, that's also fine, I guess. And finally Anjou. Yeah, okay, so he was kind of lucky here, although basically most of his empire is in chaos. At least he didn't lose anything here. And then he can roll for the new leader, and maybe he's lucky and has a good combat rating now. Let's see what we get. That sucks. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a 2. Yeah, that drops to a 2. Oh boy, not good at all. And oh, fuck it, man. Administration goes down to a 1. Holy shit. Yeah, we've got a child on the throne, it seems. And diplomacy, that's a 7. So that is going to be from a 2. I think that's a 3 then. Yeah. So, pretty bad news. And of course, good news for the French player here. So we'll see what we can do here. So, blue faces a tough decision here. The red player is simply threatening to plunder Ile-de-France. And we might have to... I'm not even sure if I can do it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can, simply because it has such a high population. So, yeah, the question is now, does the blue player want to defend himself against that or not? If he does, he won't have the money to defend himself against any attacks from the white player. But hey, I think I'm going to do it. If I don't have any income left next turn, I'm done anyway. So I'm going to defend myself. That means that this has no... Oh, the leader dies actually. The blue leader. Yeah, that has no effect here. And we're going to roll for a new leader. So the leader even got worse here. From the combat dropped from a 3 to a 2. Administration remained a 2 and diplomacy a 3. So this is just horrible. And so again we got the Spanish player has 2 cards left. He's going to try again to do a pillage action against Ile-de-France. This guy defends himself. Oops. Of course it goes here. And okay, so again, nothing happened here. And now with the last pillage action, there is nothing you can do against that. I mean, I might also try an attack now against Normandy. That's an interesting choice here. Maybe I'm going to do that. So basically I can't do it. It's just too expensive with the different religion and all the things. So I'm going to do my last action and do a plunder action. And I think not even that worked out. I'm in such a bad shape. Actually, I lose one from the base, so I got a rule for revolt here. And that was fine. So that wasn't too great for the Spanish player. It was pretty much the worst thing possible here. First the attacks of the Saracens, then the leader dies airless. That was a total disaster. I mean, okay, he didn't lose any any provinces. That helps a little bit. What are these cards? Holy crap, everywhere are cards lying around. I don't know what that all means. Strange. Okay, so I'm gonna place them here. Okay, so then it's the German player. And, well, that guy doesn't count. I'm gonna draw another one, a diplomatic coup. That doesn't really help. And now I can also try to plunder. I could attack Champagne. The thing is, this guy cannot defend himself anymore because he simply doesn't have any money. So I might have pretty good odds to take Champagne here. But I don't have any money either, so I have to tax the areas a little bit first. Okay, I only have $5. And I mean, this guy might again help me a little bit here. So let's see, if I, maybe just a little bit. So if I attack, let's say from here, I have a combat value of 3, -1 for the social state, -2 for the language. So I'd be at 0. That's not great. Do I want to increase that? Hard to tell. Actually, I don't think so. I just want to spend these $2 and hope I get a C result or something. Or maybe I can also decrease the value of Champagne a little bit. So let's see. Well, that is not good enough. However, it's... oh, fuck. It's not even a -1, I think. Pretty sure it isn't. Okay, so I gotta pillage the area now. We gotta do something here, and I'm gonna pillage Champagne. And that is a -1, and it's probably also a gold. So that is now at 0. No more income here for the French player. And let's count. Maybe it's a gold. So I have a 3 plus plus my, that's a 2 then, and again, so I'm at 4. The same language is a -2, I guess, right? Yeah, so it might be only a 2 then. So no gold for me here, but I managed to reduce this a little bit. I'm gonna try the same in Normandy. It's a little harder to do. I got a -1. So I'm at 2. And I gotta subtract 2 because of that. Shit. And then I have to subtract 2 more because it's the same religion as I have. Wow, that sucks. That's really expensive. Do I want to do it anyway? Fuck. I mean, I seriously want to decrease this guy's income, that's for sure. So I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to spend $2 here, and I'm gonna go for it. Maybe I can do something here, and that's a -1. So yeah, the income is reduced here. To a +1. And I got $1 left, 2 cards left. So I decided to do some more pillaging here, so Champagne is now also in a very bad shape. And now it's the French player. There's not a lot he can do. He can try to rule in Normandy to get rid of the unrest. That is a success, and his leader dies, which is definitely good here. So that gives him a little more money. if he's gonna tax there. And then he can roll for another leader, and maybe he's lucky and gets a good warrior here. So that isn't too great. It's probably a 2. No, it's a 5. Holy shit. So he does indeed have a good fighter this time. But in the end, I think it will not save him, because without the money, you are pretty much doomed. Terrible administrator, but an excellent diplomat. And the good thing about that is that it allows him to go, basically, I mean, he can choose the turn order, which might be a little advantage for him. So he has a 5 diplomat. He's got a pretty decent leader, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't really help a lot anymore, I guess. Just doesn't have the income he needs to really change things. So it's a pretty desperate battle, of course, for blue. I think this time he wants to go first. He has now a better leader than the other guys. At least he has the chance to collect some income. He was unlucky. He tried to rule Ile-de-France last time, and he even lost one here, so he's only at +1. So his overall income is 7 now. However, if he grabs these 7, he can use 4 cards to defend himself, which is something. But first he's got to draw a card here. That doesn't really help a lot. The military settlement, it's good for colonization attempts, but he has other sorrow right now. Okay, so I'll keep you updated. Okay, so the Spanish player, the Spanish player's leader died, and he manages to come from a 2-1-3 to a 2-1-2. So this is really insane. I mean, there must be too much inbreeding going on or something. This is completely crazy. This is definitely now the worst leader that we've seen until now. And yeah, terrible. So he's got 1 card left, and he's gonna try to do another pillage action here at Ile-de-France. Now, question is, will this guy try to defend himself? It's a good question. Probably not. I think he might try to defend himself against a German player then. And indeed, no successes here. Instead, the base has to be checked for rebellion, and that is not happening. But again, a terrible turn for the Spanish player. He tried to rule, he fucked up completely. He basically achieved absolutely nothing. He can now only try to get some money for taxation, and it seems like this works out. So he gets now Aragon is also possible. Oh boy, there is actually an unrest. Overall, we have now 1, 2, 3, $5 of income. That's all he has. But okay, I mean, he didn't spend any money this turn, so maybe he can, and he gets an additional 1 for the... No, actually, that is gone because his leader died airless earlier on. So, yeah, he's got $5 of income, but he has now a little bit left because he didn't spend any during this turn. But of course, it's hard to with a leader like this to do any kind of damage to the other guys. Okay, so the situation looks now a little better for our coalition of Spain and Germany. They both got a new leader, and they both are okay. I mean, there are definitely improvements. We got a 3-5-3 here. A good administrator is pretty important for him. Then he can definitely improve his economy. And here we have a 5 combat value and a 3-3. That is also solid. And together they managed to at least accomplish a partial success here in attacking Champagne. And what is even more valuable, the other guy had to spend his whole treasury to prevent that area from getting lost. So it's going to be hard for him in the next turn to do anything. He only has an income of 3. So, yeah. So we had a few years of plenty going on in the east again, and there are all these rich areas. And I can tell you already, if this guy dies here, I'm going to allow him to start a new empire here, and that is going to be a big advantage for him then. I mean, he's going to be happy if this goes down, but for the story, I'm going to play, I'm going to play as if he wants to survive as long as possible. But in the end, it's kind of cool. We can start a new empire here, and it's going to be a strong one, and this is going to be an interesting aspect, I think. Apart from that, we also had a year of plenty here in Norway and or in the north, and we have here Sweden +2, Denmark +1, Saxony, Brandenburg +1, all these nice areas here. So also this guy is finally finished. I'm pretty sure the German player is also eager to move east because there are definitely these interesting areas. And also maybe Denmark, for example. But right now the Irish player is going to try to convert Norway. So all he needs is one more success here. So he's got to spend $2 and an additional one for the ocean. And he's got a combat rating of 3. So let's see. I mean, I can start from... He's got a solid kingdom here, by the way. A +2, +2, +2, +1, +1, +1. It's pretty awesome. And a +1 also here, by the way. So I could throw in a little bit of money. I got a +2. Let's say I start from here. So I can add these. That brings it to a 5. Got to subtract 1 for the social state here. So it's a 4 then. And it's a different language and a different religion. So I'm at 0. Oh man, this isn't easy. Do we get any bonus from that? No. Okay, I think I'm gonna throw in $7. It's expensive, but if I make it now, I'm done, and that would be pretty cool. So let's see, maybe I can do it. And I did. Cool. Target drops down, which is kind of bad because we gotta roll if there will be a revolution there. But there isn't, which is nice. And now this is all 3 areas are now Christian. And that is definitely cool. That gives him 15 victory points. And hey, great. And then he can start to rule the area here. It costs him a little bit of money. He's going to pay $1 there. So let's see what happens. Nothing. Well, that means that at least the unrest goes away. And I might even consider now attacking Sweden. I mean, I'm not very good in combat, but I could do some good taxation, and I might be able to afford that. And if I can take it, it's just a single conquest necessary, and it would give me... It's a rich country at the moment. So he got an income of 9, which is amazing considering where he started at. And I'm gonna try a rule action instead of doing a battle here, simply to get rid of the unrest in Mercia. And that seems successful. Let me see, I got a 3. I gotta subtract 2 for the language, which brings me... it isn't successful. I couldn't even done it, I think. Wait a minute. I had to pay $1, I think. 3. That is at +2, which makes it harder. So I got to subtract 4. So I got to pay $1 to do this ruling action. Then I would be at 0. And yeah, but anyway, it's at least it's good enough to remove the unrest now. Okay. Fine. So yeah, that's it. I'm done with this turn, and I think I want to upload this now. I think actually we're already here. Yeah, I forgot this last turn. So we're coming closer now to the year 1000, and it's kind of interesting to see. I mean, this time this guy will definitely fall. He's in a terrible shape, and nobody's really willing to help him here. That's the thing, you know. The Byzantine player has not really a reason to help him here. In this case, what's different, you know, they kind of blocked the Germans from moving into Italy, and also the French, so there was a reason to help him. But this guy is in second place when it comes to points, and yeah, so therefore, I don't know, why should he? And, well, here's a lot of ruling to be done. I mean, it's not terrible, but there is definitely room for improvement. Same here. So once they finish this guy off, they have to improve their areas, that's for sure. And this guy can expand into the west, and we'll see what happens here. But I think, yeah, it will take a while until he has dealt with all the problems. Here, let's assume he takes Toulouse. There is still this heretical thing going on, and the English player is doing great. He really is. He can expand here into the north, maybe take Denmark, maybe take Brittany. That's definitely also an option for him. He collects now quite a bit of money, and he does all that even without having a fantastic leader. I mean, he has a pretty weak leader. But, yeah, he's doing fine. And, of course, the Byzantine player is in a fantastic shape. Absolutely amazing. He generates money like crazy. I think he can take about 25 bucks each turn or something like that. He doesn't even have to take his full amount of money. It's completely crazy. But that will change, I guess, once the Muslims come, and then we'll see if he can. That's the wrong marker here. If he can hold his position there. I have no idea how much of a threat they really will be, and if he generates enough money to defend himself against them. We'll see about that. I mean, he has also a lot of castles here, so I think he's fine prepared, actually. Okay, so yeah, hope to see you in the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.